If you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 battles.
Hello, BM Fox here, and welcome to another beginner's tutorial. This is a tutorial that I've been wanting to do for a long time. All Call of War units explained in detail. Let's go! It's very simple. You go to the research tab. The research tab is over here on the left hand side. You have 6 research classes. You have infantry, ordnance, tanks, air, naval, and secret. Now all the stats of these units, they can be affected by your doctrine. If you want to learn about doctrines, please click the link that you can see here below, so right over there. And yes, so just know that for every doctrine, the stats of a unit, they can differ a little bit depending on the doctrine bonuses. Alright, the infantry branch, the most base unit from the infantry branch is militia. When you click on the militia icon, you get the menu over here, which gives you the explanation. Average damage 1.4 when defending 2.6. Hit points is the amount of health. The speed, view range, attack range. Well, it doesn't have attack range as it's not a ranged unit. The rules: fast production, defensive, partial stealth, anti-unarmored. Now, what is anti-unarmored? I'm gonna explain this immediately. Unarmored is this icon. It's this little man with a rifle, right? This is an unarmored unit. You have them both for the militia, the infantry, and the motorized infantry. In the ordnance, most ordnance units are also unarmored units. The second class is light armored units, which are these ones. So mechanized infantry is a light armored class. If we go to ordnance, the SP, the self-propelled units, they are also light armored units. Tanks, armored cars, light tanks, also light armor. And then we have a heavy armor, which is here, this tank icon. And those are for the medium tanks, heavy tanks, tank destroyer, but also, for example, for the railroad gun. Then you have the air class. The air class are basically all the flying bombs, the atomic bombs, nuclear bombs, or nuclear rockets, but also, of course, in the air branch, all airplanes are air class. That's pretty self-explanatory. And then in the naval branch, you have the ship branch, which has this icon over here. Also, convoy units are a part of the ship branch. And then all by itself is the submarine branch. So you got basically 6 different kind of units. You've got the unarmored units, light armored units, heavy armored units, air units, naval units, and submarine units. This is very important to know, because now in the infantry branch, militia, you can see that this is a unit that is used against unarmored units. So in other words, you're going to use it against other militia, against motorized infantry, you can use it against anti-tanks, and so on. Alright, then in the description you have more explanation. The militia is a cheap defensive unit. Due to its slow speed and fast production time, its main purpose is to defend your own provinces. And due to its stealth characteristics, you can also ambush enemy attackers. This is a stealth unit. It is stealth in hills, mountains, forests, and urban. In other words, militia is stealth everywhere except in the flat terrains. It doesn't cost much. 570 food, 180 goods, 780 manpower, and 540 money. And then of course you have a very small upkeep. You can see here the damage it does versus the different armor classes, like I explained just before, right? So it's mainly unarmored units on defense, so they give 2.5 hit points in defense. So that's great. You need the barracks to produce them, of course. And then you have the terrain bonus. They get 50% extra damage output in the forest. So they're stealth in the forest, they get a bonus. So if you use militia, use them in the forest, alright? They are perfect there. And then you've got also a bonus of 25% in the mountains and in the hills. Militia, very good unit. And you should use it, definitely. Next in the infantry branch is infantry, alright? Infantry, same, you've got an overview, they're defensive, also anti-unarmored. They're a defensive unit and the base unit of every army. You start with quite a lot of infantry. They're cheap, easy to produce and important to defend cities. Infantry is best used to defend against unarmored units, but you can also use infantry in attack. They have 3 attack, that's not bad. But in defense, they are 50% stronger with 4.5 hit points. They can deal a bit of damage in defense also versus light armored units. So if you got an armored car coming at you, you've got a couple of infantry, you're gonna be good. They have a decent value against airplanes, so they deal 1.5 anti-air damage, that's really good. They're not stealth, however, they get terrain bonus, 50% terrain bonus in urban provinces. So if you want to defend somewhere, defend in your cities, alright? Speed, very important, 32, you can see they're much faster than militia. Next up is the motorized infantry. Motorized infantry is a fast offensive unit. They're anti-stealth, so they're a scout unit, offensive and anti-unarmored, okay? Motorized infantry has the strength of normal infantry and adds additional speed and a high view range. They have a very large line of sight. They have a 72 view range, that's a lot. And they can use this to reveal stealth units. They can reveal stealth units of the same level or below of your own motorized infantry. As offensive unit, it is best used for conquering cities. You put a couple of those babies together and you're just gonna smash whatever regular infantry has been left by your enemy in his cities. Just take out those cities very fast, hamper his economy and production, and you will win. They're extremely fast, 68 speed, that's the double of regular infantry. 6 when attacking, that's a lot. You should definitely use them against unarmored units, 6 hit points. They can hold their own in defense, and not only that, but they can also attack a light armor. They're not that bad against light armor neither. Also here they have a decent anti-air value. They can also scout hidden units in forest, for example. They're expensive, they cost a lot of food, so be aware of that. They get bonuses, 25% in cities and in plains. Now, don't forget this is a tier 2 unit, meaning that you first need to unlock level 1 infantry before you can unlock motorized infantry. As this is a tier 2 unit, you need a level 2 barracks to produce this unit without a production penalty. Next up is mechanized infantry, but you need to research motorized infantry to be able to unlock mechanized infantry. So again, this is a tier 3 unit, so remember to upgrade your barracks to level 3 not to get a production penalty. Mechanized infantry are extremely good versus unarmored units, both in offense and in defense, and that is their greatest strength. They're very fast, 63 speed. They have a decent view range. They combine the strengths of infantry with the endurance of armored vehicle. They're an all-rounder that can be used both on offense and defensive maneuvers and are most effective against unarmored targets. As you can see, they deal 8.5 both in attack and defense. They're good against light armored units as well. They can hold their own against heavy armor, however, it's not recommended. But check this out, they have a very high anti-air value of 35, which is good, so you don't have to stack them with any anti-air units so that you can move fast. This unit is just perfect to take out those cities, to move fast and to crush everything in its path. You need a barracks minimum level 1, but as I said before, if you don't want the building penalty, you're gonna need level 3 barracks. They're expensive, they cost a lot of food and manpower, so be aware of this. They also have a high upkeep, so you should have a strong economy. They get the same bonuses like motorized infantry, so 25% additional damage output both in plains and in urban terrain. Next up is commandos. Commandos are a tier 2 unit, so remember barracks level 2, right? Commandos are a special service brigade. They are amazing. Commandos are offensive units that use sabotage and explosives, making them most effective against light armored targets. They also ignore enemy defensive bonuses and are best used for surprise attacks on lightly defended positions due to their stealth characteristics. So not only are they stealth, but they ignore enemy defense bonuses. In other words, they ignore fortifications. So if you've got a player who has a level 5 fort, you put those commandos in there, those units, they're gonna get massacred. It's amazing. Commandos are one of the best units in the game, but unfortunately they're not used a lot. And check out this. They have an attack of 8.1 versus unarmored units, 9 against light armor, 6 against heavy armor. These babies, they can take out anything, both in offense but also in the defense. They defend only at 50%, but oh boy, are those good. They're stealth everywhere, alright? Plains, hills, mountains, forests, urban, doesn't matter. They storm fortifications and can ignore the enemy defensive bonus. They're expensive, they cost a lot of food, goods, also rare resources, a lot of manpower, but they are totally worth it, man. Totally worth it. Not only that, but their stats are increased both with 50% both in mountains and in forests. I mean, it's over the top. And what I forgot to mention, of course, is you can later in the game you can upgrade units, right? And if you're gonna compare the units characteristics with a level 4 commando, for example, let's just do this out of curiosity. You're gonna see 20 versus unarmored units, 23 against light armor, 15 against heavy armor. These babies are deadly. Last unit is a bit of a niche unit. It's not used a lot, but it can make a difference if you use them at the right time. Those are paratroopers. They are tier 2, so again they need level 2 barracks. Paratroopers can be dropped behind enemy lines, okay? They can be converted from infantry into planes if you have an airbase. When they're in a plane, they move at 324 speed and have a range of 300. View range of 30. Paratroopers are a versatile unit used for surprise attacks behind enemy lines. Paratroopers in aircraft form automatically convert to infantry when being dropped on a location via attack commands. After being dropped, they have to endure a mobilization phase during which they cannot move. And that's where the disadvantage comes in. They cannot move, they can just be bombarded by artillery, they can get attacked by tactical bombers, and there's nothing at all that you can do about it. They have of course weak stats when they're in a plane. However, when they're on the ground, these babies, they deal 9 damage, both in offense and defense. So that's where they're more interesting than commandos. They deal also decent damage versus light armor and heavy armor. They get a bonus of 25% in the hills, 50% in the forest. These units are not bad at all. They're expensive, but they are worth it. I mean, if you can drop these babies behind enemy lines and take your enemy capital, Bummer for the enemy, of course. Very good for you. So that was the infantry branch.